So in this video we'll look at your natural breath pattern today. Remember, it is only the pattern that is today, so observing it without judgment and knowing that we can come back to a different breath pattern if we need to. So I'm going to ask you to observe some different areas as you breathe and just try to be as neutral as you can in your observation. The first one we're going to look at is just focusing on the abdomen. So if you just rest your hands lightly on your belly, perhaps just below the belly button. And then if you're comfortable to close your eyes, then closing your eyes. Otherwise just bringing your gaze downwards. And as you breathe, we're going to notice if there's any movement of the belly on the inhale and the exhale. So focusing first on the inhale, and as you breathe in, does the belly move towards the hands, away from the hands, or no movement at all? So as you're breathing in, does the belly move towards the hands, away from the hands, or no movement at all? And having observed that, let's just focus only on the exhale now. So as you're breathing out, does the belly move towards the hands, away from the hands, or no movement at all? So as you breathe out, is the belly moving towards the hands, away from the hands, or no movement at all? And then just releasing that awareness, let's move on now to the rib cage. Just resting your hands lightly either side of the rib cage. And again, just noticing, perhaps either closing your eyes or shifting your gaze downwards. Bringing your awareness into the ribs as you breathe. So just noticing that as you inhale, there's a natural expansion of the rib cage. As you exhale, it releases towards the spine. And as you continue to observe that in your own breath, just noticing if that feels natural or whether there's any restriction in that movement. And then let's release that awareness and just resting the fingertips lightly onto the collarbones. Again, either closing your eyes or dropping your gaze downwards. And as you breathe, just notice if there's a slight rise of the collarbones as you inhale, a fall of the collarbones as you exhale. And having made that awareness, just release the hands gently to your lap, but continue to observe your shoulder area. Notice whether that area feels relaxed as you breathe, or whether there's tension through the shoulders. Again, all these observations without judgment. It's just the pattern that you're observing today. And then releasing that awareness, taking a deep inhale, complete exhale. And gently opening your eyes or lifting your gaze. So that awareness we've just observed in your breath pattern, when we breathe naturally in our most efficient way, the main muscle for breathing, the diaphragm that sits up inside the rib cage, as we inhale it would naturally contract, which would move it downwards. And this would cause a little displacement of the abdomen, so that as you breathe in, the belly would naturally move out slightly. And as you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes, it moves back up into the rib cage, and the belly would naturally move slightly back towards the spine. Now that's our natural way of breathing, but various different holding patterns can develop through life that actually restrict the movement of this diaphragm. And when that happens, we start to recruit the shoulder muscles to attempt to lift and expand the rib cage. Now, of course, the shoulders would be used when you're needing maximum oxygen. So originally, for example, if you're running from a tiger, you need all that extra oxygen in that moment. The diaphragm would be working, and also the secondary respiratory muscles would be recruited. But when we get this restrictive pattern in the diaphragm and only start to use the shoulder muscles, we get a lot of tension in the shoulders, but also we're really not breathing efficiently because of the restriction in the diaphragm. So you will have identified whether your belly naturally expanded when you inhaled, whether it released back towards the spine with your exhale. And don't worry if that didn't happen. I myself used to be what you'd call a reverse breather, which is in fact, as I inhaled, my belly used to come in, and as I exhaled, it used to move out slightly. Or you might have found that you had no movement at all. In either of those cases, the next 2 videos we'll look at will help you to come back to a more efficient way of breathing. Well done.